Talking to coach about, he's obviously pleased, it sounds like, with how things have been going with your line. How important do you think it is, and do you sense that it helps the entire team when all four are rolling? When you guys are doing the unique things that you do, does that open things up for the rest of the team? Does that wear opposing teams down to help out some of the guys higher up in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it's important on any team to have four lines playing the right way. We're not going to put up 50 points. We're not, you're not putting us out there to go score a goal in the last minute of the game. But, you need energy out of your fourth line. You need to chip in once in a while. You got to play physical. You got to play responsible. You got to bring energy all the time. I think for the most part, I think we slipped 2 games ago a little bit. We didn't have a great game, but for the most part, I think our line's been doing that.
Do you feel, or can you sense over the course of the game, especially when you're getting pucks deep and being physical, that the other team is looking over their shoulder or it's wearing them down in any way?
Yeah, I think so. I think, if you catch a couple, especially D-men, you catch a couple of them with some, big clean hits, I think they start throwing pucks away a little bit more, maybe second guessing whether they're going into that corner first or they're going to let you go get it. No, I think there's been a couple games where D-men just started rimming pucks on our line, and we were turning them over and having them in their zone because of that. So, but you got to do that throughout the game and throughout the season. You can't just do it one game because they're gonna, they're not gonna wonder if you're gonna do it. You want to make sure that they know you're coming every time.
How are you feeling with the way that you fit in so far? When we first got here, you talked about you wanted to be the guy that held other teams accountable. How are you feeling like that role has worked out for you, and how are you feeling like you're just fitting in general with the guys?
I hope I'm fitting in well. I feel great. I feel at home here. I think I've been playing physical. I'd love to put one in the net. Obviously, I'd like to get a couple more points, but the main thing right now is that we're winning. If I don't score a goal all season and we keep playing like this and winning, I couldn't care less. That's not why they brought me in here. So. I'm happy with how our line's playing, how the team's playing, especially. I think after that little slip up in Canada, I think we've really kind of hemmed down our game, and we're playing the right way. We're playing for the most part a full 60, which is something that we were struggling with, I think, a little bit at the beginning of the season. We're finding our game. We're slowly figuring out how to play as be a playoff team. And you gotta figure that out earlier before the playoffs start.
Adam Fox told us last week that everybody feels a little bit safer because you're here. Does that feel good to hear that? Does that mean anything to you?
If he didn't say that, I was not doing my job for sure. That's what I'm here for. It's it's not like I'm not getting a lot of dance partners these days, but I think other teams know that because I'm in the lineup every night that they got to play a little bit lighter against us because, maybe I'm not going to go jump somebody, but I'm definitely going to come down, I'm going to run them, and I'm going to play physical, I'm going to get in your face, and most guys don't like that.
You said you haven't had a lot of dance partners. Is that not something you're looking for? Is it strategic when you pick your spots for that? Is it a matter of being challenged? What plays into not having done that a lot? And you even said a couple weeks ago that there's certain guys just aren't going to drop the gloves with you. So I guess there's a lot of factors, would you say, that they go into that? Yeah,
not a lot of teams have guys that, are probably willing to fight me. But those days of, lining up at center ice and, hey, let's go, those happen once in a while now. But, I would rather go run somebody and have somebody come after me and, to defend their teammate. And then, I draw some energy from that. If somebody that I know is going to fight me, is willing to fight me, does something to one of my teammates, I'm definitely going to go take care of that. But I would much rather have somebody come after me because, that's just 2 instances where I'm drawing energy. I'm going to run somebody, somebody's got to come after me. I'm hopefully going to win that fight, and I think that's the way I like to draw energy.
Last one I got for you. You touched on playing a full 60 recently, and obviously you guys have been winning throughout the season. It seems like there was a bit of a turning point when you guys had that stretch of practices going into that game in Columbus and wanted to tighten some things up. It seems like you did. Does that strike you as a turning point, or have you sensed any time when you felt like things the flip kind of switched?
I think it was coming home from that Canada trip. I think we dropped a game in Vancouver where we were ahead in the third period. We dropped a game in Edmonton where we were ahead. We got embarrassed in Calgary, and I think we had some talks. We had some hard practices. I think we all had to look in the mirror and kind of figure out what we wanted from this season. Do we want to be mediocre? Do we want to keep doing what has been happening here for the last couple of years, or do we want to be a playoff team? And to be a playoff team, you gotta string together a good season, but you gotta hem down your game. Your game has to be ready for the playoffs. You can't find a game for the playoffs. You can't squeak into the playoffs and think you're going to do something. The game's got to be there for a good time before that, and I think everybody in that room's realizing that now, and we're starting to look like a playoff team.
What's it like when you know the coach trusts your line, knows that you know that he trusts what you guys are doing out there?
It's much easier to play. I played on both sides of that. I've had a coach that will sit me for 15 straight minutes, and then I'll go out there and my legs are seizing up and I can't do anything, and then I turn a puck over and he yells at me for that. Well, it's impossible to play. You can ask any player. That's probably the hardest way to play. It's much easier when you're involved in the game. You're rolling every 4 shifts, every 5 shifts. You're involved. And when you have trust, a lot of times on the fourth line, you can go out there and have a bad shift, and that coach is going to bury you for a good chunk of that game. Here, he's not going to do that. If we have a bad shift, he's going to come over and tell us, and then he's going to throw us right back out there and let us rectify that shift. So I think it allows us to play with a lot more confidence. We're not so tight all the time when we make a mistake, because we know we come to the bench and we know we're going to go out there and make sure that next shift is our best one. So it's so much easier to play with a coach that has confidence in you and allows you to play your game.